Welcome to FM Tuition Academy. Okay, if you haven't hit the subscribe button down there, there's a button written subscribe. Please click the subscribe button. Click the subscribe button. Subscribe to the channel. Okay, now we'll be looking at certain things, and one of the things that we're going to be looking at is the gradient of 2 points. Okay, what's the formula for the gradient of 2 points? For example, if they give you a point like 2, 3, and then the other one is 4, -2, and then they ask you to find the gradient of these 2 points. Okay, find the gradient of AB line, okay, or the line AB. So this is a point like this. What's the first thing that you do? You pick the points first. So before you find the gradient, you pick the points, point A, okay, point A, and point B. You label them. Okay, what is my point A and what is my point B? So I want to check. My point A is 2, 3. Point A is 2, 3. My point B is 4, -2. 4, -2. When you are done, then you write the formula. The formula for gradient, it is gradient. M means gradient. Letter M means gradient of the line AB. So the line AB. So the gradient of AB line is going to be equal to difference in y, y2 minus y1. These ones are down on the y. Again, x, big X, okay, you take a small 2, x2 minus x1. Okay, then you substitute these. You label them first. First you label the points. The first one here 2 will be x1. Again, the other one here will be y1. You see, the first two always have 1, x1, y1. Again, even this side you label it. This one will be x2, and then -2 is x. I mean, the 4 is x2, -2 is the y2. So the first two numbers is x1 and y1. Don't swap them. I repeat, don't swap them. We start with x1, y1. The second point is x2, y2. Don't swap them. Don't start with x1 this side. Okay? So you substitute them. What is my y2? My y2 is -2. So where there is y2, I put -2 minus. Where there is y1 there, I put what? I put this minus comes here. There it is 3 over. What is my x2? My x2 is 4 minus. What is my x1? You see, this minus here in the formula here comes here. Minus x1 is 2. Okay, and then when you simplify this is because there's no space, I'll push it this side. So -2 minus this is the negative what? 5 over 2, which is the answer. So it's -5 over 2. That's the answer. -5 over 2, because 4 minus 2 is 5. So that's how you do. Okay, that's the first example. Let me solve for you the next example. Find the gradient, okay, of the line C. C is -1, -2, and D is -2, 3, closed. Okay, so we are doing now the solution now. So we have C and point C and point D. So you first label them. Remember what I said? So what is my point C? -1, -2. -1, -2. That is my C. What about my D? My D is -2, 3. -2, 3. We are solving the solution now. Then I said the next step that you do is you write the what? The formula. So you say gradient, A means gradient of the letter A, C, D will be like this, is equal to difference in y, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So you label the numbers on top. Remember I said, so this one will be x1, y1, and then this one will be x2, y2, and then you substitute them in the formula. So x2 is the y2 there, it's 3, so it will be 3 minus y2 there is what is my y2? Y2 is -2. Okay, there will be two negatives, the negative that is in the formula and also the negative for y1 there. So y2 is 3 and then minus in the formula, and then y1 is -2 as you can see there, and then with the bracket, you split them with a bracket like that. Okay, over what is my x2? -2 minus my x1 there, it's negative again, so there'll be two negatives, and then there is a bracket separating them. So I'll solve it this side because of space. So it will be 3, those two negatives will form a plus, over, and then -2 plus these two negatives form a plus, over, and then final answer 3 plus 2 is 5, over -2 plus 1 is -1. Okay, so it's -5 over 1. Okay, that's the answer, or -5, since the negative on 1 will go on 5, or just like that, 5 over -1. Okay, that's it concerning the difference of concerning the how to find the gradient. Okay, but now how do you find the midpoint? Now the midpoint, how do you find the midpoint of 2 points? How do you find the midpoint of 2 points? Okay, for example, let's say question 1 is this. They can say find the middle, or find the midpoint. Find the midpoint. It's called middle point or midpoint. Find the midpoint. Mid is M-I-D. Midpoint of point C. Point C is 6,2. Point maybe C, let's say point CD. We use this as C, and then the other point is Z. The midpoint between these two. So the other one I'll just say 8,3. We're finding the midpoint between those. Okay, I'll give you the formula for midpoint. This is the formula for midpoint. Okay, midpoint, the formula is like this. To find the x coordinate, it will be to find the x coordinate, it will be x2 plus x1 divided by 2. Okay, and also to find the y coordinate, it will be y2 plus y1 over 2. This is the formula. Okay, so you always look at the points that you are given. So what are the points that have been given? I look at the points that have been given, and then I label them. The first one is C, point C. So point C is there on top. Point C is the, okay, let me put it down so that I can label it nicely for you. Point C, it's what, 6,2. So 6,2. And then point okay, maybe because of space, let me write it properly so that you can see it on top there nicely. Okay, so that I put it straight so that is space. So I said to find the x coordinate, it will be x2 plus x1 over 2. And to find the y coordinate, it will be y2 plus y1. over 2. Okay, these two are 2's and 1's, they are very small, they are down. So you pick the points that you are dealing with. It is point C, and what are the coordinates for point C? 6, 2, 6, 2 according to the question. And then point Z, what is point Z? Point Z is 8, 3. 8, 3. And then when you do that, I said you label them. Remember what I said before, use the formula, you label them. So this is my x1, y1, x2, y2. That's all. So you write the formula on top, and then you use these to substitute. These parameters, substitute them. So what will be my x? So to find the x value is equal to, what follows first? X2. So meaning on top here, what do I put? I put what? Here I put x2. What is my x2? My x2 is 8, as you can see. Where there's x2 there on top, I put 8. So x2 is 8, and then x1 is 6. So I put 8 plus 6. Okay? 8 here, x2 plus 6. So that's 8 plus 6. That is 8 plus 6 divided by 2. Again, to find the y coordinate, I will say y2 plus y1. y2 plus y1. What is y2? y2, as you can see, is this one, y2. It is 3. y1, it is 2. Okay, that's what you substitute here. So y2, you put 3 plus y1 is 2. So 3 plus 2. So it is 3 plus 2 over 2. That's all. And then if you solve this, this plus that is what? It is 14 over 2. And then y is going to be equal to 5 over 2. And then x here is equal to 2 into this one is 7. So therefore, the midpoint is, the x coordinate is 7, 7 comma, the midpoint is 7 comma, y coordinate it is 5 over 2, and then in close bracket. So it is 7 comma 5 over 2. 7 comma 5 over 2. 5 over 2. 7 comma 5 over 2. There at the end is 5 over 2. 5 over 2. That's how you do it. Okay, let's solve another one. Another example. Example 2 on midpoint. So if they give you 2 points, like point A is negative 2, comma 3, or negative 2, comma negative 3, closed. And then D is the negative 6, comma negative 1, for example. And then you're supposed to find the midpoint. Okay, midpoint of these 2 points. Find the midpoint of those 2 points. So how do you do it? I said the first thing, write the formula. So on the x coordinate, you say x2 plus x1 over 2, comma y again to be y2 plus y1 over 2. So the first thing is I'll label these points. Okay, I'll come there and then I'll label them. What is my x1? What is my y1? Okay, so I'll bring them here so that I can label them nicely. I'll bring them here. X2 minus, that is like that, and then 6 comma negative 1. This is the point D, and then I label them x1, y1, x2, y2, and then I substitute them in that formula. What is my x1? My x2 is negative 6, as you can see. This is my x2, negative 6. So on x2 I'll put negative 6. So x2 here is x is equal to, here on x2 I put negative 6. This plus comes here. What about x1? X1 is which one? X1 is this one. X1 is this one. It's negative 2. As you can see, x1 on top is negative 2. So on x1 I'll put negative 2. So I'll put negative 2. Or have you seen? You separate them by bracket. You divide by 2. Okay? And then you say x is equal to, solving. That is negative 6. You know how to solve integers. Minus 2 over 2. Okay? So I'll be solving downwards. This calculation continues. So before I finish it, because of space, I'll continue also solving on y. What is y2? Y2 is what, guys? Y2. y2 is -1. Is this one? y2 here, it's -1. So y2 is -1. So on y2 I'll put -1, guys. y2 I put -1 minus what is, I mean plus rather. Y2 is -1, and this plus comes here, plus what is y1? Y1, guys, y1 is here, -3. So on y1 I put -3. So y1 I'll put -3, close open, divided by 2. So that will come to, of course this is y this side, that will come to -1 minus 3 over 2. So I'll go to the next page. I'm continuing this calculation this side. So that will be x is equal to -2 minus 2 over 2, and then y this side is going to be equal to what? -1 minus 3 over 2. Okay, so that will give me -8. -8 over 2, -8 over 2, and then that is y is equal to -4 there over 2, and then x is going to be equal to 2 into 2, 1, 2 into 8 is 4. There's a negative there, so it's -4. And then y there is equal to 2 into 2, 1, 2 into 2 there, it's 2 into 4, it's 2. So it becomes -2. So therefore, the midpoint is going to be equal to what? X there is -4, comma, y there is -2. So it's 4, comma, -2. That's how I find the midpoint, guys. You see how easy that is? That's how I find the midpoint. So that's how I find the midpoint. Then lastly, so what about the distance between 2 points? What about the distance? Distance between 2 points. How do you find it? Distance between two, the distance between 2 points. Between 2 points. How do you find it? Okay, that's the next topic. So how do you find the distance between 2 points? For example, they give you point A is 0, 2. Then point B is -6, 3. Okay, and then they say find the distance between A and B. The same principles, only that the distance formula is different. So the distance formula is, we're looking at the distance formula. So the distance formula is distance of the line AB is equal to, since the line is AB, if it's CD, say CD, so is equal to difference in x2 minus x1 in brackets squared plus difference in y2 minus y1 in brackets squared. So you pick those points and then you put them in there. So the first point, point A, is what? You label first the points. Point A is 0, 2. So it is 0, 2. Point B is what is point B? -6, 3 enclosed. And then you substitute them in the formula. So at first you label them x1, y1, and so on. I think I've taught you this: x1, y1, x2, y2. So now what is remaining is to put them in the formula. So what do you have? X2 is -6 minus, in the formula, this is the minus in the formula there, minus, and then x1, this is x2, and then x1 is 2, so -2 in brackets like this, and then squared plus, what is my y1? y2, so y2 is 3, so it would be 3 minus, what is my y1? Oh, sorry, I made a mistake when I was too fast. I made a mistake when substituting. Okay, let me substitute now. I said x2. What is x2? It says the formula starts with x2, so x2 is this one, -6. So you put -6 minus in the formula. What is my x1? X1 is this one, is 0. So I have to put 0 there, and then in brackets squared plus, what is my y2? My y2 is 3, so I put 3 minus my y1 is 2, so minus 2, then in brackets like this, then is my in brackets like that. So what do you have? Then you proceed, you go, we are proceeding. So distance AB, when you simplify that, it's going to come to negative 6 minus 0, it will become negative 6 in bracket squared plus 3 minus 1, mind you there's a square b on top, don't forget. 3 minus 1, it is 1, so it will be 1 squared. So negative 6 squared, negative 6 squared doesn't mean negative 6 times 2. Negative 6, it means negative 6 times negative 6, which is positive 36. So in short here, it means 36 plus, it's 6 times, negative 6 times negative 6, these two negatives will give a positive. 1 squared, it means 1 squared, it means 1 times 1, that's what it means, which means 1, so that is going to be equal to the square root of 37. That's how you solve. Okay, that's how you solve. Let me remove this. That's how you solve. And then the last example on the distance between 2 points. So they say find the distance of A, the distance of A is negative 2 comma negative 3 closed, and then P, it is negative 1 comma negative 2. Okay, negative 1 comma negative 2. So what's the first thing you do? For it to find the distance, you write the distance formula. So the distance of AP is equal to the square root of difference in x in close bracket squared plus difference in y in close bracket squared. Okay, and then now you pick the points. The points is there. So what is my x2 and what is my x1? So x1, y1, x2, y2. Then you substitute them in that formula, the one is just from writing. So what is my x2? My x2 is this one, x2 here, as you can see. Oh, I mean my x2. What is my x2? My x2 is this one, x2 is negative 1. So where there is x2, I put negative 1. So here on x2, I will put negative 1 minus. What is my x1? My x1 is negative 2. So where there is x1, you put negative 2. Where there is x1 there, I put negative 2. So there are two negatives, the one for x2 and the one in the formula. And then in brackets, squared, plus, what is my y1? I go again, my y1 is what? y2, sorry, my y2 is this one. My y2 is negative 2. So where there is y2, I put negative 2. Here where there is y2, I put in negative 2 minus, in brackets, minus, what is my y1? My y1 is negative 3. My y1 is negative 3. So there's another negative again, negative 3, like this in brackets, again close bracket squared, and then there's another square root on top. People forget to put the square root on top, and then that is going to be equal to negative 1. These two negatives make a positive, and then in bracket squared plus, and then that is the negative 2 plus 3 in close open close bracket squared, and then there's a square root on top there, and then as you proceed, that will be distance of AP is going to be equal to the square root of negative 2 plus 1 plus 2 is it is actually 1 squared plus negative 2 plus 3, it's actually 1 again squared. So to be 1 squared means 1 times 1 plus again 1 times 1 means 1, which is equal to the square root of 2, and then I'll just stop it there. That's how you solve this type of questions, guys. So that's just an eye opening, and then the exercise is as follows. So you solve this exercise. Okay, I hope the three principles you have got them. So question one is find the gradient of A 3 comma negative 1, B negative 2 comma negative 4. Okay, that's question 1, the gradient of that one. And then question 2 is find this is question 2. Find the midpoint or midpoint between find the midpoint between t, point t is negative 5 comma negative 1 closed, and negative 1 comma actually negative 2 comma 1 actually negative 2 comma 3. Okay, find that midpoint between this is and this point against point P. Okay, there's point T there and point P. And then lastly find question 3, find the distance between Z, which is negative 3 comma 2, and T is negative 1 comma 0. You're supposed to find the distance between those points. Okay, this is the end. Okay, if you want to do online tuitions with us, please WhatsApp this number +26 if you're outside Zambia, but the actual number is 0979 22 20 76. So you can WhatsApp this number. Okay, that's the number you're supposed to WhatsApp. If you're within Zambia, it's this number. Just WhatsApp this number, and then our team will get a hold of you. If you're outside Zambia, our country code is +2, is +26. Okay, but those ones within Zambia can just go direct. Then I can help you. Thank you. So this is very important. Those ones doing online tuitions, you want to do online tuitions, you want to start, you want us to help you in mathematics, in physics, in chemistry, in biology, in English, in e-commerce, and so on, including civic education. Just WhatsApp this number, then we'll be able to assist you and train you.